those who are not actually willing to work without catalyst on their things, they will move away, most probably. And leave more room for builders, for actual builders, which is a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, and it's. I also super agree, but I also like the exercise of having like a whale as big as the foundation come in and shake
Mm.
things up, because we're going to do decentralized governance for a lot more than just the catalyst rounds, and we need to like do these experiments, go through these pains as efficiently as possible. And I really like, I was in the town hall yesterday with the guys, and they're taking it seriously. It's how do we make it fairer? And that's what gives me like hope for the whole thing, right? That we are all more like, more than anything, yes, there's grifters here and there. Yes, um, a lot of the people that were more vocal about it or complaining about it were kind of getting the favorable end. They had already sort of gotten the whales that they wanted, and
Mm.
had things set up for it to work. But in the end, I think that it's a good thing. It's like, okay, so let's actually make it fair, right? Let's now sort of cap or have quadratic voting or whatever it is that we're going to do to make it so the little guy, right? The little voices don't drown out, and it's little voices both from the voter but also from the proposal side. Um, I suggested to sort of change the UI a little bit, or even the voter reward system, so people emulate what the CF did. Because like the people who were complaining were like, oh, but the what we have is that the whales just pick two or three, and then those get in, and there's space for everyone else. But that's that's wrong, right? That means that the special, you just have pockets of special interest groups that are working, but it's still unfair for people who are actually playing fair, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So if you make it so when you go to the app to vote and you have like a progress bar, because people are only voting for like two or three per like in general. But if you have a progress bar that goes and says, okay, you've now fully committed your that you've fully given the opinion on how these funds should be used in the category, right?
that's good.
Um, it's
Like
like,
a good enough score, like a good
yeah,
score.
exactly.
That's
Because
cool.
voting for one thing isn't good enough, right? That means you're not having an opinion to push out the grifters, right? To push out the bad
Mm.
proposals. It's just, well, I voted for this one.
Yeah,
The rest is somebody else's problem.
Oh, that's true.
No, right?
very good.
The way the catalyst is supposed to work is how the CF did. It's like, no, okay, so for this fund, these should be the ones. This is my opinion. These should be the ones, right? And then
Mm.
for this other category, these should be the ones. And then that makes it so you the majority, right? Everyone's vote gets magnified, because otherwise, if the CF's vote got multiplied, whatever it was, by however many projects they voted for, we're choosing not to make the same multiplication.
That's true. Is
We're
there?
just,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to repeat myself.
Okay. Bringing another example. Um, um, if before we conclude, are you okay? Like, do you have a minimum number of proposals that you set yourself to vote for, I always choose like I say, I have to commit to at least, and then it's a low number, 100 proposals. That's what I have to make. That's what I always say. That's the minimum that I have to make. Are you doing this the same thing, or are you having another number?
Well, I yeah, I try to fill. I try to mentally keep how much I've voted for, but that's extra effort. So I end up saying, well, roughly this is the max I should get, depending on the category, right? And the other one, it was I only needed to do like 12, right? In the partner stuff, I only needed to pick 12. In the concept one, you need to pick more. Um, but yeah, I try to do that, and promoting others to do the same um, is probably gonna like multiply the effect because it was 2 billion ADA that participated. 2 billion ADA participated. So what the CF did should not have like completely overwhelmed the system, right? If
Mm,
everybody filled in their capacity, then it would have just been like a 10% bump here and there. But because
mm,
people don't do it that way, it was so it was so
overwhelming.
significant.
Mm, that's a good point.
I totally agree, and I think that's the bigger problem rather, being the one CF voting with big wallet. Uh, Most people, yeah, or particularly the bigger one, like who have like more than a million to 50 million kind of, they vote for 10, 5 kind of, that's it kind of, on the
Mm,
higher side. So that's bigger problem, I think.
Yeah, and
interesting.
that's what becomes kind of like the special interest group scenario, where like the end maker group of the world sort of have their own little group of proposals, and they only vote for themselves, right? And then that means that they're used to that working, right? Then there's another small interest group that will also just vote for themselves, right? And then there's enough ADA, so both get it. But the people who are trying to get everybody else's votes have a harder time because the regular voter is only like picking one here, picking one there, and it's a lot harder. Um,